Throughout the 2010s, a huge part of internet culture were creepypastas. Internet horror stories made to be spread around to mainly scare children. There are so many examples of these. I mean, there's Slenderman, who got his own movie. Now, was the movie good? Absolutely not. Jeff the Killer, Smile Dog, a Squidward that wants to harm himself. All of these stories being extremely popular in the 2010s. But one that was so popular that started a whole other community is sonic.exe. And sonic.exe isn't portrayed in the most favorable light nowadays. The original story isn't very good. It's mainly just Sonic running around and killing all his friends. It's not great. And the creator is a piece of filth. The game that came out that was based on the creepypasta isn't very good, and I've seen plenty of retakes that do it much better. And after the release of sonic.exe, gaming creepypastas became a norm in the creepypasta community. For every good game out of this community that came out, a bad one would come out in return. And today I kind of just wanted to talk about one that came out January this year, that being Green Mountain. Uploaded by the user GrenMountSonic on January 12th of this year. Booting up the game, the music is extremely eerie. There's no title screen, it just starts Green Hill. The game is extremely oversaturated, and it almost looks like Sonic's eyes are completely yellow or maybe even shut. There are no rings and there is no enemies. The only thing that you could do is just go forward and climb the mountain. The only thing that can kill you in this climbing section is fall damage. They added in fall damage. If you fall from too high, then you'll die. Once you finish climbing the mountain, you will come across a platform with a Sonic with no face. Then you will start a boss battle with him, which no matter what you do, you cannot lose this boss battle. Eventually, the glitched out Sonic will start running into a wall, trying to, I'm gonna guess, escape. Then you hit him again and he just melts into the ground. After this, the game begins to distort even more, you slowly transforming into the Sonic that you just beat. The world gradually becomes more and more dark, you becoming more and more like the Sonic that you just beat, eventually getting a game over. And that's really all the game has to offer. And it was a fine game, a short and sweet Sonic horror game. But when you open up the files, it tells you a whole other story. Inside of the code of the game, there is a story about two people hiking up a mountain and burying something there. A person named Dusky Y on Twitter went through the music of the game, finding the game over sound had DTMF tones, which are the tones that the phone uses to know what you're calling, basically. The tones that the game would use were 811, the one for the National Digging Service. Usually call something if you're digging something up so you don't pull out a bunch of important stuff from the ground, like wires that lead to electricity lines or plumbing. The final thing that I want to talk about is going back to the sprites page. Inside of the sprites page, there is an image just called Returnal. This is the image. It almost looks like some kind of cryptid, and brightening up the image reveals that it looks more and more like a melted corpse. Now, I wasn't going to talk about this game. It was something like a short horror game that did what it wanted, but as soon as I saw this image, I wanted to talk about it. This image reminds me so much of early creepypasta images. It's not overly scary, but it just implants this idea in your mind that there's something out there, and I really like that. So what is my take on this story? What do I think happens in it? Well, you know that episode of SpongeBob where they kill that health inspector and they try and bury the body? I think that's what happened. I'll take SpongeBob for 1,000.
I'm SpongeBob.
That's it, yeah.
So, in conclusion, I really like this modern day creepypasta. It does everything pretty well. It has some fine gameplay that tells a unique story, and it has some interesting stuff in the file. And I want to thank Lemon Blues on Twitter. They made a really good thread containing all the information about the game. Sorry this video is kind of short. I didn't really have much to talk about with this. I just really wanted to talk about it because it seemed interesting. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.